There are growing concerns over the number of incidents with regards to attacks on journalists currently ongoing here in Ghana. Now, over the period, there's been a number of attacks on journalists. Now, if you look at the figures we have, in 2017 alone, 9 incidents were reported. In 2018, 5 incidents were reported. And we know for this year alone, as many as 5 incidents have been reported. Now, last week, some journalists from modern Ghana were picked up by national security operatives. They have alleged that they were beaten up by the national security operatives during interrogation. But my colleague Anas Sheba has been chronicling events from 2018 to now over incidents related to attacks on journalists.
The media, often referred to as the fourth state of the realm, plays an important role in strengthening the democracy of every country. To this end, celebrated journalist and critic George Orwell says, quote, "Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost," unquote. While this and many more portray the worth of journalism in many developed and developing countries, there are sometimes deliberate attempts by politicians and other interest groups to manipulate, intimidate or silence the media. One of such ways is the assault and attack on media practitioners as well as their establishment. Whilst Ghana is largely praised for its press freedom, few instances of assault on journalists are reported occasionally. The worst culprits are often police officers who are supposed to work with the media, the politicians who are custodians of our democracy, and groups as well as the public in whose interest the media serves. A critical scan of the media space alone will reveal about 17 cases of assault on journalists in the past 20 months. A total of 26 journalists were threatened, physically or verbally attacked, and on a more devastating note, shot dead.
Some suspects stand in trial for their alleged roles in the kidnapping of 2 Canadian women recently are accused in the CID and the BNI of torture. My colleague Fred Jabano has more.
After about 2 weeks on being on remand at the BNI cells, the 6 suspects were today brought before the court once again. When the case progressed, one of the suspects, Sedumba, had some issues. According to him, he was being brutalized and manhandled by personnel of the BNI and the CID, and because of that, he had some bruises on his body. The judge was very concerned about the issues raised by the accused person, so he called the accused person to come forward so he could examine him himself to see whether there were any physical bruises on the body of Sedumba. After the judge checked, it came to the realization of the judge that there was nothing there, but Sedumba said he had pains on his wrists and had some swells on his body.
And our war against indiscipline continues unabated, with over 20 people arrested over the weekend for a number of traffic offences. In all, about 13 have been processed for court. Some have been made to pay as much as 750 cedis for road traffic infractions, including the Deputy Managing Director of BOST. My colleague Caleb Kuda has more.
The court, presided over by His Worship Joseph McAlee Jr., slapped fines maximum of 720 Ghana cedis on 13 out of the 29 errant drivers. What is interesting, though, is that the Deputy Managing Director of BOST, Moses Asem, was not here today, and some of the drivers who were fined I spoke to demanded his whereabouts.
More people were arrested.
Who are you talking about?
I saw one of our big men. Is it Moses Asem? Mm-hmm. But today I didn't see at the court. Okay. One of the policemen, I saw him that very day. He was arrested, but I didn't see him at the court.
Some of the drivers had other concerns. They want the road expanded. In the meantime, the financial blow the fine did them, plus the frustration of the court process, is one for which they will never, ever engage in indiscipline on the roads.
A few weeks ago, it was a similar incident, very choked traffic here at the TUC intersection in Accra. I was driving and attempting to enjoy the breeze, albeit smelling, of Accra, when a beggar approached me. This beggar asked for money, and I said to them, I did not have money. He abused me, verbally abused me, and actually jumped into my car, which at the time had a low window. He subsequently ran around my vehicle and came to the driver's side, attempting to hurt me. When I rolled up my windows, he went around to grab a stone in one of the bushes here. But before he could do so, the traffic miraculously changed and I sped off, like these vehicles are speeding off. That is a story of many intersections in Accra, apparently. After I put this post up on my Facebook wall, many people commented and said this was a regular occasion. Here on City Newsroom for City TV, we're here to talk to as many motorists as possible, talk to hawkers and talk to pedestrians as to whether this story is familiar with as many people as I've written on my Facebook wall, but the challenges they face, the demented, the beggars, the perhaps lunatics who are roaming the streets. Who are they? Where are they from? Are they real beggars or people who are just waiting to attack you if you fail to give them peanuts? Godfred, this issue that we are discussing, have you seen some before?
Yeah, Mashia more because anytime be a one nama now imagine so can't say discuss man no buofu no do to come to buboka buboka no kura o kapa no more madwane. In fact I don't cause my Ghana manya kura.
A lot of pressure on Ghana's national team, the Black Stars, over whether they'll qualify to the next stage of AFCON. We'll be speaking to people on what their chances are. If you go to social media, a lot of calculations going on over whether they'll make it or not. We'll be looking at that and also speaking to Fentio Tahiri Fentio, who is at Egypt currently, to bring us more details on the Black Stars' chances for the next stage.
So this is the Suez Stadium. It's a 27,000 capacity stadium, home of Egyptian Premier League side Petrojet. This will be the venue of Ghana's crucial Group F game against Guinea-Bissau on Tuesday. It's a must-win game. The Black Stars have been in Suez since yesterday. They will train later today. Kwesi Appiah, the head coach, and Kasim Nuhu, who is suspended for that game, they addressed the press earlier today at this particular stadium. And Kwesi Appiah, he gave nothing away with regard to his starting lineup, but he did hint that no one should expect a lot of changes in the starting 11